Bravely Default 2. So I found this article and I thought it was interesting, so I wanted to kind of talk about it. But essentially, Bravely Default 2, it's the third game in the series, right?
Yes.
Um, so it's coming out on February 26th, so it's coming out real soon. Now, this is something I didn't know because I only played the first one, and I wasn't keeping up on this game too much. But I definitely want to play it because I love the first one. I didn't play Second Layer, but apparently the game is changing its battle system to a more fluid system so I'm going to read this statement, okay? And this is by producer Masashi Takahashi. It became clear to us that this would be something you would have to kind of be thinking ahead in really making sort of complicated guesswork if you had this order of actions display in the game. That would make things more complicated than we wanted them to be. So we ended up removing that prior to releasing the first demo of the game. So basically, what he was saying was the original game had a turn-based combat approach. You know, it's a classical RPG, and they took that out. So after they took it out, a lot of players complained. They were saying like, why'd you take out the turn-based combat system? Why'd you make it this fluid system? And basically, the fluid system relies more on like speed buffs, debuffs. If your character's fast, stuff like that. And he's saying that the turn-based system made it harder for them. And then when they released the demo, people complained, and then he said, no, we're just going to keep it this way. So I don't know if you guys had heard about that. But yeah, I mean, what do you all think about it? Uh,
In the end, you're saying they kept the original system from the first game?
no, they decided not to do turn-based. They just kept it the way that they had it already that people didn't like. They decided not to listen to the players and they just kept it the way they had it in demo.
Okay, well, I haven't played the demo, but I thought the first battle system in the first one, which I played a lot of, but haven't quite beaten it yet. Um, I thought that was a really sort of nice or cool twist on the traditional turn-based format. I'm not sure what they're doing with this new one, but I was hoping that they just would have maybe kept the first system, but maybe tweaked it a little bit to make it to kind of differentiate it a little bit. So I don't know. There is a demo out for this game, so maybe I'll check it out before I make a final judgment. But yeah, I don't know. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
this is news to me. I actually haven't heard of this at all, and I beat and played the first one. The second one, I was planning on playing after beating Persona 5 like last week, but I started playing Final Fantasy 14,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah. No, we talked about that. We talked about
yeah,
that.
we talked about it last week,
We talked about that.
and I'm really busy crafting in Final Fantasy 14, so
Dude, play it up, man. Play it up.
I mean, it's a lot of fun. I love it. So, you can't complain there. But I do want to play Bravely Second End Layer. And the thing is that there is a demo for that, which is actually has story content that is applicable to the actual game. So you gotta play the demo before you play the actual game.
And they did that with the
Um,
first one too, right? If I
correct.
recall. Okay.
Correct. And they had things that could affect the actual game. You could actually collect villagers for your town. And the more villagers you had, I forget what boons you got, but it was something really beneficial to the game. Anyways,
I put 40 hours into the first game's demo, more
yeah,
more than I've played in any other demo. It was that good.
It
yeah, it was
was
a lot of
very good.
fun.
It was very good.
And commenting on the battle system, it does get to a point, I think, sooner than most JRPGs where it can be pretty broken, and you can kind of play it on autopilot. At least that's what happened with me. I was able to get to that point pretty quickly, and I enjoyed the game a lot, but I did break it pretty quickly. So it was kind of a cakewalk, even though I played it for however many hours.
Okay.
So I still need to play Bravely Second, which a lot of people are like Bravely Second, Bravely Default 2. Bravely Second is in terms of time, just to clarify.
Yeah.
So it's like minutes, seconds, and it's a movement that you do within the game. But I mean, I'm still excited for Bravely Default 2, but I am really interested. I don't understand how you explained the battle system. I don't know what this fluid battle system is. Like, can you explain it a little bit further in terms of what that is? If it's not turn based, then what is it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I haven't played the demo, so I'm just going off of this description in this story. So
Gotcha.
maybe I'm butchering it, but essentially, uh, the character's attack speed, like when they can attack. So there is a timer, right? But instead of it being like, okay, your timer's up, you can go now, whatever, and then you know how you would have the
It's like an active time battle.
yeah, it's an active time battle, and
because
but
because because the entire foundation of the game is the default system, the Brave
exactly,
default system,
ex-
which is going to be turn based. Like you can't do that in a real time
y-
system, I think.
yeah. So I don't know, I don't understand either because I didn't play the demo, but apparently it's an active time battle system now. It's not turn based anymore. So
Well, turn based and active time battle are somewhat the same. Active time battle is just like you have this period of time to to take an action, and you have to do
yeah,
it within that certain period of time, but it's still like your turn, but the enemy is still moving regardless if you do anything within that time period or not.
yeah. Technically, they're just different ways of doing the
Turn
same
based.
thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, but from what I read in the article, people didn't like the change,
Hmm.
and they just opted not. They just opted to keep it because he was saying that the way they did it in the original, and maybe that's why you broke the combat in the original. Because basically, he was saying the way they did it in the original was so hard for them to plan ahead in the combat system
Yes.
that they couldn't keep tabs on it. So maybe that's why they changed it because it was just too hard for them to think ahead of issues with the combat system, and maybe that's probably why you broke the combat system and turned it into autopilot. So I don't know.
I mean, if it makes the combat more engaging and gives it more of a challenge, I welcome
Yeah.
it. I think
Okay.
that sounds cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Some people didn't like it, but for all we know, we might like the change. So we'll have to wait and see.
I mean,
But
I pre-ordered it
actually,
from Best Buy, and
yeah.
they have a placemat.
Oh,
So just so you know,
okay.
if you want to pre-order from Best Buy because they have a placemat. This is not
Okay.
sponsored.
Okay. Um, actually, no. John brought up a good point. You can play the demo now. So play the demo. See if you like the combat system.
And the
Um,
demo probably carries over to the actual game itself. So
yeah.
it's a prelude. You should play it.